Good afternoon. It's about 4:01 and I'm just getting finally set up, get the finalization set up of our Fun Friday today. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys some great cards. One of them both of them I cased, one off of Pinterest, and I can't remember who the creator was. It's on the Pinterest in many different locations. And the other one is cased from Heidi Collins, and she's a demonstrator out of Michigan. So we'll go ahead and get started in just a minute. Let's see. I'll use this. I'm having a hard time getting my mouse to work. But now, let's see. There we go. So we'll go ahead and I can see comments now. It is 4 o'clock. Welcome to Stamping with Jen, Fun Friday. And it is Friday, May 10th. Happy Mother's Day to those of you mothers and mother figures, all the women in our lives who take on a mother role for us. Happy Mother's Day this weekend to you all. It is, I'm Jennie Fetz, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In the, I'm getting back feed, so let's turn this off. There we go. That way there's no echo. So anyway, I am Jennie Fetz, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Located in East Contra, Costa County, which is about an hour and a half east of San Francisco, depending on how quickly you drive or what kind of traffic you run into. It could be 2 hours east. So anyway, well, welcome, and I am excited to share with you a couple of graduation cards that I've created. I have 3 graduations. I have my nephew in Texas who's graduating in a couple weeks. I have a niece in the Denver area, Colorado, who's graduating in a few weeks. And then I have a distant cousin who is graduating. Actually, her graduation is a week from tomorrow. So I am creating cards for all of them. Actually, I've already sent my card for my niece up, and she was the one I posted the picture of earlier, and actually was on the slides that went along with the promotion for Fun Friday this week. Her school colors are orange and black, and so I was able to use pumpkin pie and black, perfect match. And I made it and sent it off early because my mother-in-law and father-in-law will be flying back to Colorado for her graduation, and my husband had gone up last week to see them. So he took the card for me so it would get there safe and sound. But anyway, so now I'm going to show you 2 more cards today using crushed curry, and this is real red, and they match the colors of Creekside High School and Klein Oak High School. Klein Oak is in Texas, and Creekside is in I think it's the St. John's area, not far from Orlando, Florida. So we will be doing both of these cards today. We're going to start with this one. Both of them are fun folds, so this could be a fun and a somewhat long, because I'll show you step by step how we make this video. They're both fun folds, so let me go ahead and put this one aside, and I will show you the first one that I'm doing for my nephew. And this, again, it's the crushed curry and basic black. And the fun part about this card is it is an easel card, so it stands up as such. Well, let me go ahead and pick it up and I'll show you. And it stands, if you were to stand it flat, it would stand like this. So you would see it. And the sentiment is on the front, and you can put, "Hi Becky, how are you? Welcome." You can put a sentiment in here, but we also have a little piece there that helps prop up the easel. So this will be the first card that we're making. And let me get that out. Oh, let me tell you which stamp set we're going to be using. We're using the Cap and Gown stamp set from Stampin' Up! It was in the January to April catalog, and it carried over, thank goodness, to our I think it's online now. It's considered an online ad item. It's not in the current catalog, but it is online and available. So this is the stamps that we're going to be using. We're going to be using these two, the small cap and the gown, and we'll be using the diploma, as well as this congratulations graduate. And I'll probably put all of the hard work was worth it on the inside of the card. So let's go ahead and get started. This card, I'm going to put it off to the side now. This card uses, the base is a 11 by 4 1/4, or we'll hold it like this. So it'd be 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And I've already done the scoring. And we will have to score it again to do the fun fold portion. So let me get out my trimmer and scoring board. And what we're going to do is we're going to score it. It's been scored at 5 1/2 to give us the card, and then we're going to go ahead and score it again at 2 3/4, which is a half of this width here of the 5 1/2 inch width. So let's move the cutting blade up so I don't cut the paper on accident. And we'll go 2 3/4, just 2 1/2, 2 3/4. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. Excuse me, 2 3/4, and we'll go a couple times. And so now we've got a score mark here and a score mark here on our card base. And I'm going to go ahead and take this, and we've burnished this one, and now we're going to also fold this one in and burnish it as well. And that will give us the base of our card. And let's see what we're going to do, and what I've done for our card here. And this one I'm going to do in red, and it has, we're going to do a 4, I believe it's 4 by 5 1/4 on this, and this one is a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, so it will match up exactly to the side, and you'll cover it so you won't even see when you have it in the envelope. It looks like a normal card base. It doesn't look like anything different. So it folds or measures up exactly like this. And we're going to do this one now. I used an embossing folder so that it doesn't just look plain. I find that I'm an embossing folder junkie. I would probably buy just about every embossing folder they had if I could. And this one I used the painted texture embossing, and it is in the new catalog as well. I believe where's my new catalog? I'll have to find it later. It's in the back. They actually have, it's nice, they have a full page that is nothing but embossing folders in the back. And then the other embossing folder, the one I used on this card, is actually a partial. It's not a full 4 1/4 or 5 1/2. It's not a full 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or normally an embossing folder is, let's see, it's usually 1 2 3 4 4 1/2 by 6, but this one is a small portion. It's a fraction of that, and I will share with you later this week a tip that I have to make it so it looks like it's a normal size embossing folder, so you can't even see where it stops and where it begins, because we know it doesn't fit the entire way. But I'll be sharing that later this week in a tip, so come on back to my website or my Facebook page. So anyway, we're going to put this on here. I'm going to glue this on with a little bit of glue, and do just a dot, not a lot. Well, I probably do more than a dot, but it's not as much as it could be. And we're going to center that. There we go. We got that centered. And then we're going to go ahead and let's do the base for the interior of the card as well. And I'm doing also another panel, and this is 4 by 5 1/4 as well. with the white base on it, which will have the sentiment. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5. So I'll have all of the measurements listed on my YouTube channel when I put this on the YouTube channel tomorrow. So I'll include the measurements. So Jenny, make note, don't forget, because I don't usually put measurements on there. So we're going to center that on there, and we're going to go ahead and just put that on the inside of our card. We'll center that on the back, the bottom panel. So Becky, how are you doing? What are you doing? Anything fun this weekend, given that it's Mother's Day this weekend? And there we go. All right, so there's our card. It's pretty much put together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a scrap piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp the cap and the gown on it. And then unfortunately I didn't prep ahead of time. Hanging with family, awesome. That's the best way to spend Mother's Day, in my opinion. Avoid the restaurants because they're busy, and just hang with family. So you're going to have to watch me fussy cut these. So let's go ahead and stamp on, or ink up our gown. Get this totally covered. Do several stamps. All right. And I'll do this as close to the bottom as possible since I have to fussy cut. And let's see. There we go. And then we'll do the cap. Make sure I get the cap totally. See, it's not completely. I think I need to re-ink my Memento Black. And then we'll go ahead and do that there. And then, you know what, while we're doing this and while we have the black ink out, I'm just going to go ahead and do the diploma as well. So we'll ink up the diploma because I'll have to fussy cut that as well. There we go. And now I can put my black ink away, for right now at least. And we will fussy cut these as quickly as possible. Fussy cutting, I like to cut out if I have it on a big piece so that it's easier to fussy cut, because fussy cutting is all about turning the paper, not turning the scissors. So let's go ahead and fussy cut out our gown. And the gown should be pretty easy to fussy cut because there's not a lot of intricate pieces. So see, I turn the paper, not the scissors, and it gives you a more even cut. So we'll do this, and I think honestly this is going to be the easiest one to fussy cut. The big one to fussy cut that's more difficult is actually the cap, because it's one, tiny, and two, there's a lot more funny edges versus the gown. So we'll go ahead and keep fussy cutting. So, well, this year, Mother's Day for me is going to be a very quiet one. My husband is in Arizona picking up our daughter from college, and I stayed home with the dog, so we wouldn't have to submit the poor dog to 12 hours in the car driving home, and 8 or 9 hours one way and 3 hours the next day kind of thing. And so I'm going to fussy cut this, and this is a little more difficult. So Mother's Day in a way is going to be nice and quiet. I think they're coming home Mother's Day evening, but I don't know. It depends on if they get everything cleaned up and ready for her to check out of her apartment in time to leave on Sunday morning. If not, they'll come back Monday, and we'll have the joy of unpacking everything on Monday after I finish my sub job. I have a half-day sub job on Monday. So let's go, yeah, this one, the tassel's a little bit difficult to go around. We'll go around. And there we go. See how we turn the paper? It makes it a little bit easier to turn the paper. So there's our cap and gown. Let's go ahead and do the diploma while we're at it. Furball love, yep. I hope that, I don't know if they'll get stuck in traffic, because if I know my husband, they'll be out early, whichever day they leave, and he'll go through as much as quickly as he can. He likes to stop very little when we're driving, but he knows he can't do that with women in the car. So let's go ahead and tuck. We'll cut out our diploma. All right. You know, I don't mind fussy cutting when it's straightforward things like this. It's the flowers with all the leaves and stuff. Do you fussy cut, Becky? Because I'm not a big fussy cutter unless it's something simple like this. And even this, it's like, oh, if I had a die, I'd rather use the die. But I know it's not cost prohibitive probably for them to make dies out of everything. Or for every stamp out there. All right, let's see. All right, there's our diploma. We'll put our trash away. My trash. You stink at it? I do too. I'm not a big. This is one of the best times I've done it, which I'm actually sort of surprised, because if I was doing it on camera, I was afraid that I was gonna really mess it up. So, all right, what we're gonna do also is we're going to take a colored pencil and a watercolor pencil. I'm going to color in, you know what, I think I'm going to use crushed curry. I'm going to use yellow because tassels, we want it to stand out. So we're going to just use the crushed curry colored watercolor pencil and color in a gold on the tassel like that. And now we're going to go ahead and attach these using because it's a solid piece, I'm going to use, where did it go? I'm not going to use dimensionals. I will use dimensionals for the cap because it's so small, but I'm going to use adhesive sheets, and I have one. I just don't know where I put it. So did I put it in my box here? No, it's lying around here somewhere, so we'll pull out another one. I think I need to get some more adhesive sheets. I'm down to, oh, wait a minute. Oh, those are the small. I'm only down to, oh, one adhesive sheet. I think I need to place an order. Oh no, 2 adhesive sheets. All right, let's go ahead and do adhesive sheet for the gown. We'll go probably about this wide, and then I'll cut it down. Let's see. Yeah, we'll cut it right about there. We'll get it, is that too wide still? No, it's just there. All right. Let's see, we'll put our gown on, and we're going to put it somewhere towards the middle because we do have our sentiment at the bottom. So we're going to put it towards the middle, maybe a little bit higher. We'll use our small, let me get my take a pick tool. Use our mini dimensionals. We'll put one on there. And let's see, we'll put it right about there. And then we're going to go ahead, and I used, from the Cheerful Daisies dies, I used the label or band, I guess it would be like a label, the label die for the sentiment. And the sentiment is the one that says, well, if I could find, oh, it says right here, it says, "Congratulations, graduate." We're going to do that in black. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I think I'm going to do it in real red to go with the paper. So we'll tap a little bit. Set that off to the side. I'm going to stand up so I can center it on here. There we go. Oh, that's crooked. So let's go ahead and, luckily I have an extra one. Let me see if I can get this so it's not so crooked. A lot of times what I do is I usually stamp first and then I, let's see, and then I die cut, but I didn't want to have to pull my die cut. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. That doesn't usually happen. And then, you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bling to this. And we're going to use, where are they? I had them. Oh, I have them in here because I used them in this one. We have some new adhesive-backed sparkle gems, and they add a lot of sparkle. So I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of these small. I think I'm going to use the black ones, or yeah, I think I'm going to use the black ones to go with the black background. We're just going to use a couple of small ones, just probably 2. And we'll do 1 here, and then we'll do 1 up there, and then we'll put these away because I plan on using these with the other one as well. And then we'll use another piece of adhesive strip for the back of our sentiment, and we're going to put that right down here. All right, now before I attach here to this, I've learned my lesson on many times that I need to stamp my sentiment. I probably should have set my sentiment on this before I glued this down, because so many times I end up making a mistake, making a mess out of it. But we're going to put all the hard work is worth it inside as well. So I'll put it right about there. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to just use, let me clean this off. And I'm going to turn it this one upside down on the back side. And we'll do this in black, if I can find the basic black. Everything's all over, scattered all over my, let's see. All right, there we go. And I'll stand up again. Put that down. All right, perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll color the little ribbon on the diploma. And I think I'll do it in red. What do you think? Yeah, let's go red. We'll do red for the diploma. And there's our diploma. And we go ahead and get a very small, actually I might use the small dimensionals. Put one on either, and yeah, they probably all fit on there. So we're going to put small dimensionals. There we go, on each side of the diploma. Let's see if we can get a small one in the middle too. There we go. And we will, I'm going to attach this first so it can go flat. Now here on this one, you got to be careful. You don't glue the entire backing to this. You are only gluing it to the bottom half of the front of this card, on the bottom under the score mark. So what I do is I go ahead and I put the adhesive here. We'll do a little bit of adhesive here. And this kind of card, the Tombow glue is perfect because it allows you a little bit of wiggle room. Last time I did this, I ended up doing it a little crooked. So I think what I'm going to do is put it up here, and you just line it up on the top and on the bottom so that you can see it's not, and then I'm going to just make sure it's all flat even here. The other day when I was making this one, I noticed that it's a little crooked. You can see over here where the front piece went over the base of the card, so it's a little crooked. So you have to be really careful about that, and that's where the Tombow glue works really well. And I'm going to try, and I'm just going to lift this up a little bit to figure out where I want my diploma to go, because my diploma is going to be the piece that holds the easel up. And you don't want to go so high up that you see the sentiments, so you go probably about halfway. And we'll put the adhesive, we'll put the diploma right there, and you can almost put it at an angle. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right about there. Take my pieces off and put it right about there. And there we go. We've got our first graduation card in the Cherry Creek high school colors for Florida. My it's a distant cousin in the sense that, let's see, her mom is cousins with one of my cousins who's actually the son of my mom's cousin. So it's like cousins several times removed, but she's close in age to my daughter, and we became friends through gymnastics and when they lived out here for a little bit. So anyway, there we go. There's our first graduation card. All right. It's nice at an angle. It's really sort of cute. I did a card like this for my mother-in-law for her birthday, and she didn't understand it, and all of a sudden she opened it up and went, oh wow, look at that. That is so cool. So there's our first card, and we'll put these aside. And then we'll go ahead and make our second card, which I cased from Heidi Collins. I'm going to try and say her demo site, or not her blog and everything correctly. I think it's Onyago, O-N-Y-G-O. Her name is Heidi Collins, and she just did this the other day, this fun fold, and I thought, wow, I really like that. I'm going to try that. And it is, I don't know what kind of window it calls it, but it's open, and you have to be really careful when you put the sentiment on the inside so that it is hiding behind this. Otherwise, it would look funny sticking out here. But I thought this was a fun fold. So we'll go ahead and make this. Luckily, there's no fancy cutting or fussy cutting, so I'm grateful for that. And this one we're going to do in the Klein Oak colors, which are gold and black. And so I'm using crushed curry, and I'm using the DSP from the new DSP for the in colors, not in colors, the DSP for our colors. And I'll go ahead, and here's what we have. Trying to remember where did I put the paper that had the measurements on it. There it is. The measurements are, our cardstock is, again, it's an 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And then we're going to have 2 pieces of pattern paper that are 1 1/4 wide and 4 inches high or long. And then we're going to have a piece of coordinating pattern paper that is 2 1/4 inch wide and 4 inches long. And then this is my cardstock for making for the cap and gown. And this is going to be 2 inches by 3 3/4 inch. 2 inch by 3 3/4 inch. And I didn't cut it yet, so I'll cut it now, is the interior cardstock or panel, which will be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So let me go ahead and cut that right now. Move some stuff out of the way. And I'll cut it off screen, so it'll be quick. 4 by 5 1/4. 5 1/4. All right. And this will go on the inside. But before we can put this on the inside, we have to do some special cutting. So I'm going to put our cut pieces of Designer Series paper and everything else away, and we're going to have to cut so that we can get this opening here, the window. And so let me take our trimmer, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to fold and burnish it at 5.5. Where did my bone folder go? There it is. 5.5 is our burnish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that front panel and we're going to cut it at 1.5. So there's 1.5. And then we're going to move it to 2.5. There's our 2.5, and cut that. And we now have our pieces to make our fun fold. So we'll set the trimmer aside, and we're going to burnish this again. There we go. Now we're going to take our two 1.25 by 4, and we're going to glue those on to our very top panel of the card base. And then the first piece that we cut off at 1.5, we're going to glue these on. Oh, it's all out of whack. Let's see if we can, oh, there we go. Got it back in the camera. All right. Sometimes I pull everything closer to me and then I get it so you can't see it. All right, we're going to put a little bit of Tombow glue here and attach this so it's centered on that. And then we're going to do the same thing up here on the small flap at the top of the card base. And I'm going to open it up so I can see it. There we go. And make sure it's even. Yep, it's even. Perfect. Now we'll set that aside, and we're going to take our 2.5, the piece that we cut at 2.5, and we're going to glue our larger piece of DSP in the center. I don't know, I keep forgetting. I pull it closer to me like I'm at home. I am at home, but like I'm just doing this without a video, and I forget that you guys can't always see it. So there we go. Go ahead and center that. And we're good for now. Let's go ahead and actually, let's do this. Now, this is a little difficult in my estimation, in my opinion. This is the most difficult part of this card, and what you need to do is you need to attach this panel to the bottom panel and to the top panel, but the hard part is keeping the bottom panel even with the base of the card. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to attach this to the top one first, and we're just going to put just a little bit of adhesive in at the very top, right up there. You don't want too much. And then we'll go ahead and put it there. Make sure that's even. And the nice thing about using the stripes on this, I can almost line up the stripes, the base of the panel with the stripes, and it's straight. And then we're going to take this panel and we're going to make sure it's flat. And sometimes I take it and I tap it down like this so that I've got the base. And then what I do is I will put a little bit of glue right here, because I know that's about where the panel is going to be, and we fold down, and the base should be even, and it is, because I messed up on that one. On the other one too, I didn't, the base wasn't even. So there's that. Let's go ahead and let's glue this in, and then we'll tackle putting the sentiment on the inside before we glue or do the cap and gown. So we'll put this on the inside. This is the one time that you actually have to glue. It's not the only time, but I like to do my sentiments on my paper first before I glue them down, just in case I make a mistake. But this one I have to glue it down first because I need to be able to figure out where the sentiment is going to line up behind this block here. And so let's get out our congratulations graduate. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Let's do the congratulations graduate, and we're going to do that in black ink. So I think I'll take this stamp off. And we'll go ahead and put this on. Now, I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. And let's see. Oh, look at that panel's a little crooked, a little wonky. Oh, that's the little things are make it unique. Okay, we're going to put it right there. Okay, and that should cover it, and it does. Perfect. That's exactly what we want it to do. We want it to cover. Now let's go ahead and take our smaller piece of white cardstock, and we're going to stamp our cap and gown on it. So we'll go black ink for a black gown, so it pops against the crushed curry. And then put it towards the bottom so there's room for the cap. Center it. There's our gown. Let's see, here's our cap. So there we go. So do you know anybody graduating in the near future, Becky? Or are you through graduations for right now? We're gonna stand up so I don't want it too close. There we go. So it's funny, my daughter, I asked her what she thought of this, because sort of it looks a little awkward to me because you've got that empty space between the cap and the gown. But she said it's perfect for Disney lovers because it reminds her of a ghost and haunted mansion. I'm like, I can go with that. I can go with that. All right, let's go ahead and color our tassel in with the crushed curry again on the watercolor pencils. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this centered right here. Ah, in Longwood, is it a college or is it a high school? And then let's center it right here. There is, let's see, I think I need a little bit adhesive down here in the bottom. Put a little bit, there we go. All right. Oh, college. Great. What was her major? And then we're going to use a couple of our black sparkle gems to give this a little bling on the front. So we'll do black. We're going to do 1, 2. I might go with a larger one at the bottom. We'll try a larger one at the bottom. Oop, it's falling over. It's, sometimes they stick and then they turn over, so I'm gonna, there we go. There we go. Special, oh, good for her. I have a lot of respect for people who work in special education. I have my teaching credential, and I taught for permanently in my own classroom for about 4 years. Did a couple long-term subbing jobs before I got my credential, and then just life went in a different direction, and I ended up, now I substitute teach again. I substitute taught for about 8 years and then got my credential. So congratulations to her, because that's amazing. I have a lot of respect for special ed teachers. There's a lot of takes a lot of talent, let's just put it that way. So, all right, so there's our second graduation card. We have our graduation card. Like I said, this card is the Klein Oak colors for my nephew, And the cherry color or the real red color is the color for a cousin of ours. But these are our cards. Let me get the other ones we just made. And you can let me know which one's your favorite. Is it the window one or is it the easel card? Which is your favorite fun fold? And yeah. And oh, just great. And then here's the thing, love to share with you guys, is it doesn't matter what color. That's the beautiful thing about Stampin' Up! Having 50 different colors in cardstock and ink, is you can match, I would bet, any color scheme out there for any college or high school. So you can customize your graduation cards to match the graduates' school colors, which is really cool. So there you go. Thank you so much. Join me again next week. I think I'm going to be doing Spotlight of Nature. I haven't decided 100%. It's either that or I'm going to You Love the Easel one. Yeah, that one's a fun one. It's very unique. I'm going to do Spotlight of Nature, or I'm going to do the DSP called Thoughtful Journeys. And we'll work on something with one of those. Both of them are new to the catalog this year. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week. Have a blessed Mother's Day. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.